And welcome to today's episode of Modesty's Monday Motivation Series. And this is episode 23 of our our Modesty's Monday Motivation Series. And as always, I'm your man, Ikenna Umezudike. And I hope you've had a very good weekend. And I hope you are very much looking forward to today's episode. And this week is a continuation of what we've started last week, which we started talking about being self-employed. So we're going to continue today talking about being self-employed. But first of all, I just want to thank every one of you that have sent their feedbacks on the previous episode that we've done. And we've taken those feedbacks on board and being very constructive about what you've said. And just to let you know that we are taking them on board. One of the things that keeps coming up is about the length of our videos and presentation, and a lot of you would really want to get very much into it. The limitations you face is about the length of the videos and the presentation. So we've taken that on board, and we are going to be working on that. So we're going to be doing a shorter shorter videos, and we're going to be limiting the length of time we spend on the videos, but they will still be packed with quality and with contents. We may have to like separate some of those topics and just do some bits and some part of it one week and the next bit the other week. The aim is to make sure that every single one of you who wants to be opportuned to listen to this even after the live presentation will still be able to listen to it and be comfortable with the timing and the length of it. So it's just to show that we are listening and we are acting on those feedbacks. So please keep them coming in. As long as they are constructive, we'll take them on board. Our aim is to keep you educated and keep you informed. So today we are going to be talking about being self-employed. So this is part 2 of being self-employed. And in today's episode, we are going to be focusing on the operational realities of being self-employed, like the different hats that the self-employed will be wearing. So as a self-employed person, you'll be wearing more than one hat as a self-employed person. So we want to focus on some of those different hats. We're going to be talking about 5 of them today, and by next week, we're going to be talking about the remaining 5 of them. But before we dive straight into that, I just want to bring to your notice one very important thing that you have to bear in mind when you are going self-employed and when you want to become self-employed. It is your goals and your objectives. We have dealt extensively with goal setting. We picked we dedicated like 3 or 4 weeks to goal setting. So if you go to my Facebook page and look for episodes 15 to 18, I think that's, we dedicated those episodes to goal setting, where we extensively dealt with goal setting. So watch those episodes and you'll understand the practical steps to goal setting. So this particular episode is not dedicated to goal setting, it's dedicated to teaching you how to apply those goal setting techniques that we taught you into your self-employed business. So your goal setting, your goals are your macro targets. They are the big visions that you have that you want that business to achieve. So they are kind of your destination. They are a guide to your destination. It's not really the end in itself, but it's a guide to the end. So when you set your goals, make sure you have clear-cut set goals before you go into any business or before you become self-employed. They have to be clear and concise. For your business to have any chance to succeed as a self-employed person, your goals have to be clear and they have to be concise, and you have to have clarity of where you are going. That is the only time you are on the right path to succeeding. And remember, because you are self-employed, you set these goals yourself. Nobody set them for you. So you are basically the architect of your own downfall or the architect of your own progress. This is not a case of where you come into an organization or you come into a company, you are an employee, and the management have already set the goals for you, or they've set the targets for you. They've told you what their goals and objectives are, and they just help you fit into those goals. This time around, you are the one setting the goals, so you call the shots. Everything is on you. Everything is on your head. So you've got to be ready to take on that task before you go into becoming self-employed. Now, when you talk about objectives are different from goals. Objectives are a clear-cut, laid down route through which you want to achieve those goals that you have set. So they are basically your goals broken into smaller pieces of practical activities on daily basis, on weekly basis, or on regular basis. So those objectives, for example, if your objective is to speak to 5 clients every week, that's your objective, and then how you do that, that is basically the vehicle that will take you to your destination, which eventually are the goals that you have set. So when you have goals and objectives, the goals are the bigger vision, they're the bigger, the macro things you are looking at. The objectives are basically the steps you have laid down to take to achieve those goals. And remember, those objectives, again, they are set by you. They might be your weekly targets. Those are your objectives. If your objective is to make sure that you send out, what's it called? You send out a video every week to your clients, or you send out a marketing email every week to your clients. You decide how many of it you are going to send out and how many clients you're going to be sending them out to. If you're sending out letters, or those are just clear-cut objectives. Whatever practical steps you are taking every day, every week that helps you to achieve those goals, they are your objectives and they are your responsibility as well to set them. Okay, so that's about objectives. Now let's talk about a plan. As a self-employed person, you go into that business, or you want to go into that business, you've got to go in with a plan. So this is where I'll start to break down those different hats that you'll be wearing as a self-employed person. So your plan as a self-employed person has to be clear as well, just like your goals. Yeah, and those plans have to bear in mind the kind of structure that your business wants to take. The operational structure of your business, those are your plans. So they might be your business plans, or they might be your life plans. They might be your personal plans. But as a self-employed person, you cannot just go into that without a plan. There has to be a plan. So we're going to break those plans down, and those plans and the elements of those plans are the different hats you're going to be wearing as a self-employed person. Number one on that plan is a capital. The number one hat you have to wear on that plan is the capital. You've got to decide how much capital that business needs to be set up and how you are going to raise that capital. Now, it's either you raise the capital through borrowings, or through your savings, or through family support, or through other goodwill measures. That capital has to be enough to get that business going, right? How you raise that capital is your responsibility. So that is the hat you are going to wear. You sit down and say, now this business is going to cost me, X amount of pounds, or X thousands of pounds. How am I going to raise that amount that I need to set up that business? If you, for example, you want to, set up a salon, right? You've got to know how much it costs you. It will cost you to set up the chairs, the mirrors, rent the shops. If you need to get workers, the equipment you need to run the salon. You've got to work out what the capital will be for you to set up that business as self-employed, right? Or if it's an office-based or service-based business, you've got to work out how much office equipment you need, what you need, chairs, tables, office rent, how long you need to at least have the rent in your account to make sure that you're able to pay for wherever you want to stay, or whatever it will cost you to run the business. So the capital is very, very important for you to determine and ascertain how much the capital will be and where and how you can raise that capital. There must be a clear-cut plan on what you're going to be spending that capital on. Yeah, and then the return on investment on that capital has to be clear also, because if investors invested in your business, you must let your investors know what the return on investment is and how you intend to be rewarding those investors. Are they going to be taking part in the shares, in the profits, or are you going to be paying them some amount with interest every month? What sort of investment are they making, and what sort of returns are they expecting? Return on investment also includes the how long it takes for you to repay the capital that you've invested in that particular business. Even if it is your own money, you must be able to determine how long it will take for that capital to be repaid. Whether it's your own personal money you put in or a third party or an external fund into their account, it's very important for you to work out what the return on investment will be and how long it will take to recoup that capital. That is your break-even period. Now, bear in mind that some businesses are more capital intensive than the others. There are some businesses that don't require that much of financial outlay or upfront capital outlay. For example, if you don't need stocks, if you don't have to buy stocks to stock goods, if it's service based, it might mean that you don't need that much capital. You might just need some financial support or some financial outlay for office equipments, but then there might be huge investments into IT and all the rest of technical bits that comes into that. There are some businesses that are more capital intensive than the others. Somebody who needs to set up a car auto shop will need more capital to buy more cars to stock, or maybe you are into maybe cement or rice sales or anything that involves stocks. You need more money to stock up those capital. Or you are into machineries and equipment. You know that one machinery costs a lot of money. So you have to be aware of the capital intensity of that business and then plan towards that and make sure there is enough capital for you to take off, so that you don't take that business off and then at the end of the day you crash somewhere along the line. Sorry, Mr. Phillips, I'm not talking about stocks and shares. I'm talking about stocks in terms of goods. I can read your message, but please do not mistake the stocks as stocks and shares at this moment in time. I'm not talking about the stock market. I am talking about the goods you are going to be storing. Those are your stocks for now. So that's not the kind of investment I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are buying goods that they are storing and goods that they are selling. So if you're into buying and selling, bear in mind that you might need capital to buy goods that you will store so that you can sell. Maybe I will use goods rather than stocks so that people don't get that confused. So that's about capital. Now, the other hat you need to wear before you go into that self-employed role or that self-employed business is location. Location is very, very critical. Where will your business be operating from? It's very, very important. Are you going to be online only? Are you going to be working from home? Are you going to be on the high street? Are you going to be office-based? These are decisions you've got to make before you decide how to move. Say for example, if it's a business you want to be running from your home, you know that, okay, that's your home. That's where you're going to be running the business from, right? You've decided where your location is. But before you decide where your location is, your location has to have a link to where I can find my customers or where I can find my clients. So if you decide to be working from home, you already know that your clients, obviously your home is not an open shop. Your clients can't just be walking past and then they will see your goods displayed, in front of your house or in front of your home or anything. It might be a service-based business and you are inside your house and you're running it from your computer. That's fine. But you also have to decide how you are going to be attracting customers to yourself. We're going to talk about that when we come to talk about marketing. But deciding where you are going to be operating from is very critical. So if your business is such that it requires footfalls, you might want to choose a location where there is high footfalls, and not just footfalls but people who are most likely going to be buying from you. Say if you're running a grocery shop requires a place where there is a high footfall. People can be walking out and they can just come into your shop and buy what they want to buy. If you are on a grocery shop, you can't run a grocery shop from inside your house where you live, your private residence, because people can't just be coming to buy milk and biscuits and all that from inside your house. You need like a shop front where you display. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. So certain businesses thrive in certain locations. So the nature of your business would determine the kind of location that you pick for it. So make sure your location is perfect for your kind of business. You take into consideration where your clients are congregated. If it's a business that your clients or your customers are more like they are to be seen online, you might decide to go online and set up an online business and capture those customers online. And you have an online marketing plan that will enable you attract those customers to yourself. Your location could be a combination of an office based and an online based. So you have your office, you have your website, but you have a very strong online presence, and people can troop online and they can come and patronize you. And when they come online, they can also see that you have a physical office where you can be visited, or where you can be seen. Just like my financial consulting business, we have a website, we have our social media handles, and we have a physical office where we can be visited. So people go online, they look us up, and then they know that, oh, I can locate you here. They come to our office and we talk business. So you have to decide what your location is. Location has been one of the lessons I've learned in my business life. I remember when I set up an African grocery shop where I live currently in Luton. I had two shops then. One of those shops was located in a place where there wasn't that high, footfall, and there wasn't that much of, African or black and African community presence. So it was difficult for me to basically attract the kind of clients and customers I wanted into that business in that location, even though we had a website. But that's not the kind of business that, just strictly through websites. We didn't have an online sales strategy then. We just depended on opening our shops and allowing people to walk in and buy from us. But then I realized that it was a mistake. That location wasn't good enough for the business, and we had to close down that particular location, and we moved it to a different location. Eventually, we had to close down that business because it worked out that the logistics of that business and the practicality of that business was not suitable to my skills as a person. So I wasn't cut out for that kind of business, and I worked out what exactly fitted into my skills, and I set up my business along my skills line. And the location of my business right now is perfect for the kind of business I render, because I now do properties and finance, I now do mortgages, I now do financial consulting, I do shipping to Nigeria. It is a service-based business, so I didn't need a shop front per se. I have a storage where my office is located, and that storage I use it for my shipping business, and then my office I use for every other service-based business I run. So the location I am in is perfect for the business that I render, because it is service-based. So it's very important for you to decide and determine the location for your business, because it is very critical. And it might make sense for you to take advantage of what we call the herd community when you set up your business. If you go to places like Nigeria or a lot of markets, that's why you have certain markets that deal on certain parts. Say auto parts. You see a whole market is dedicated to auto parts. You go there, people set up their shops, and they take advantage of the herd community, because anyone who wants auto parts will come to the auto parts market to buy auto parts. Anyone who wants electronics will go to the electronics market and buy electronics. So if you are in that environment, you will take advantage of that herd community, because then everybody else is dealing on practically the same thing or similar things. So you take advantage of people who are coming to buy products that are related to the line you are trading in. So people come there and they buy from this particular person, and they might come to buy from you because they need something that you have that this person doesn't have. So it's a herd community. So when you belong to that community, you take advantage of those spillovers from those clients. So it is very important that you decide that location as well. If it's something that needs to take advantage of herd community, you take advantage of herd community. If you set your electronics shop away from an electronics market environment, you must make sure that there is a strategy in place to attract people to that particular place where you are located, away from other people. There must be something special that will attract them there, that you are offering that other people are not offering. It's not to say that because you are not in that particular location, you will not, make sales as an electronics person. But it gives you that herd community advantage, or you have a USP that you can promote to people to attract them to wherever you are, that is outside of where the herd community is located. So that is the importance of location. And remember, location is your responsibility. That is one of the hats you have to wear as well, deciding where you locate your business or where your business operates from. Number 3 hats you are going to wear is the hat of marketing. But before I talk about marketing, one thing I also want to chip in about location is that you have to bear in mind also that your location might have a cost implication, right? Your office, your shop, or wherever you choose to locate your business has a cost implication. You've got to be aware of that and build that into your financial projection and into your cost implication and capital project and capital. So if you are going to be renting an office, find out how much that office is going to cost and build that into your cost, and make sure you have enough capital to take care of that location. Maybe paying the office rent. Make sure you have at least enough capital to pay for like 6 to 12 months worth of office rent before the business can find its footing. I've seen a lot of businesses close, and before they even close, I'll see that business and I'll say, I'm not sure about the location of this business. I'm not sure this business is going to last long. And before long, I come there and that business is already folded up and is already closing, simply because of location. In Luton, where I live now, there's a business that just packed up in the Luton Mall. When that business set up, I had reservation about that business because of its location. It was a furniture business, and they were selling Italian furnitures, very expensive, exquisite Italian furnitures. And then they chose to set up in the mall, in the Luton Mall. First of all, I said to myself, because these are furniture business, this is a furniture business, and the customers would definitely want to come and buy this piece of furniture, maybe the bed or the sofa or whatever it is, and load it in their car. And there was no parking space for any car to drive in front of that shop and put their van or their vehicle in and load it and buy that furniture and move away. That facility wasn't there. Besides, it looked to me as too exquisite and too expensive for the community where it is located. And I said to myself, I'm not very sure that this will have done their research very well in terms of location. The shop, the site might be very, very good, lots of footfalls and all that, but their target market and their target audience is not where it is located, right? And then the logistics of moving those furnitures is not provided for, unless they have provided an online facility for home deliveries. But even if they have, the people who walk into that shop because they come into the mall, it's a very strategic location, fantastic location, but it was not really ideal for that kind of business. So your location might be fantastic, it might be strategic, but it may not be ideal for your kind of business. You've got to bear the kind of business you're dealing in mind, your target audience, and then you choose a location that can serve that target audience, attract them to where you are, and then suitable for the kind of business that you render. Number 3 hats you need to wear as a self-employed person is marketing. Now, one of the business seminars I attended, one of the organizers of the seminar, one of the speakers at that seminar said something to us which always resonates, and I always remember it every time I talk about marketing. He said that doing business without marketing is like winking a beautiful girl in the dark. Okay, so you're eyeing this beautiful girl, and you want to make signs to her to know that you are attracted to her, and you want to wink her, but there's no lights, everywhere is dark. So even if you are winking that beautiful girl in the dark, she will not notice you. She doesn't even know what you're doing. She doesn't even know where you are. Possibly she doesn't even know that you exist. That is what doing business without marketing looks like. It's like winking a beautiful girl in the dark. Marketing is what exposes you and tells everybody where you are and where they can find you. And if you don't scream loud and hard enough, nobody knows where you are. So your marketing plan is very, very vital before you go into that self-employed business that you wish to go into. It is called visibility. You've got to be very visible, and you've got to be very audible and very loud. Business these days are very, very competitive. And I was speaking to someone the other day, and I said to them, do you know why Coca-Cola and 7-Up still do adverts? Even though they are very, very popular products, and even though almost everybody in the world knows about Coca-Cola, they know about Pepsi. But every time you still see their advert, Pepsi still sponsors the Champions League. Coca-Cola is, big, they go big on adverts, marketing. The reason is that they still need to remind people that they exist. Because the moment people forget about your existence, they forget about what you offer, and they forget about the products. No matter how brilliant your services are, if you do not keep reminding people and keep being visible, being in the face of their audience all the time, they will quickly and easily forget what you do and how you do it and how brilliant you are. So Coca-Cola and the likes of Pepsi, they are multi-billion-dollar businesses, but they pump a lot of money into marketing because they know that people need to be reminded constantly of their existence and their continuous existence. Hey, look, I'm still here, I'm Coca-Cola. Hey, I'm still here, I'm Pepsi. So when you go into the market, the psychology of the buyer is that they will always buy from what they remembered last. If you go into the buyer, into the soft drinks markets, the moment you see Coca-Cola, you remember Coca-Cola adverts. So you can go into the market and you see products like Dr. Pepper or other, soft drink products that are not big on marketing. It will be difficult for you to actually go and buy Dr. Pepper instead of Pepsi, even though Dr. Pepper is there. But because you've seen Pepsi Cola and you've seen Coca-Cola, you are most likely going to be choosing between Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola, because they are the ones that constantly remind you of their existence, and they've won your trust and your confidence by virtue of the fact that they are always there reminding you that they exist. So your marketing plan must make sure that you are visible. If you're going to be advertising online, if you're going to be marketing online, be very visible online. Whether it's your website or you're on social media or any other digital marketing plan like Google pay-per-clicks and all that. You have to find out what strategy works best for you. Now, I'm going to be very clear to you. There is no one perfect marketing strategy for every business. Different businesses have different marketing strategies that works for them. So you've got to fashion out and figure out what works for you and focus on that. There are traditional marketing methods that no longer work for certain businesses now, but hey, they still work for some businesses. For example, excuse me, job adverts. Yeah, people still open the pages of newspapers to see job adverts. People still buy newspapers and they look at job adverts and they still see job adverts and they still apply for jobs based on newspaper adverts, even though loads of job adverts have now gone online. But people still find job adverts on newspapers. But there are certain businesses that when you advertise them on newspapers these days, people don't even see them anymore because they don't read newspapers. Every news and information now is online. So people now go online and social media to search for their clients because it is where the client's eyes are. That's where your marketing should focus. Where are my clients looking? Where can I find them? Where are they gathered? Where are they concentrated? That's where you've got to focus on. So people still, distribute leaflets. And some people might say, look, leafleting don't work anymore. They are no longer in vogue. They're no longer in fashion. But I went to a networking meeting, a property networking meeting, and one of the speakers there said, listen, I do not, that he still does, leafleting. He drops leaflet through people's, post boxes and through people's doors. And he said he does not leaflet he does not leaflet for sales. He leaflets for presence. He does not leaflet for sales, he leaflets for press. So what's your strategy and what's your aim? Why are you doing what you're doing? So what he's doing is that he's just putting those leaflets for presence, to let the people know that, hey, I'm within your area, I'm around this place. If you need any properties sold or rented, or if you need someone to buy your properties quickly, I am here. So that whenever the person thinks of that service, the person will always remember, oh, I normally get this leaflet and because it's consistent and it's constant. That's another thing about marketing. It has to be consistent and it has to be constant. It doesn't have to be a one-off thing. Everyone who you are expecting to entice to your business has to have confidence in you. It takes them at least to hear from you, to consume at least 7 hours of your content for them to buy from you. Yeah, it takes them to have 4 points of contact from you for them to buy from you. It takes your clients 11 different contacts for them to buy from you. It's about building rapport and building confidence. That's what your marketing should be focused on. Online marketing is the in thing now, but trust me, it's not for everybody. There are certain businesses that don't advertise online and they make a lot of sales because a lot of their sales come from referrals and word of mouth. They have built a very strong customer base, and their customers now do the marketing for them. They just go out and tell people about the services they've received, and they've stopped even advertising, and they've stopped taking on new clients, mostly service-based businesses that have been established for some time. So you cannot come and pitch online marketing and digital marketing for those people. They have their websites, it's just for contact. So but for you, if you are just starting up as a business person, you've got to work out where your clients are. If most of your clients are congregated on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, go there and grab them. Establish presence there. If your clients or customers are the people who are walking on the street and they need to come into your shop and buy from you, then set up there and make sure that that particular advert and marketing is focused on the footfall and the people who are walking that street long. And then your website is now meant to direct them to where you are based. So different strokes for different folks. It is not for everybody. Online marketing is not for everybody. So find out what sort of marketing strategy that fits your kind of business and focus on that marketing strategy and build it. And then have a system of tracking the kind of marketing that works for you. Yeah? Find out where your clients are coming from. If you've got clients coming from your website, make sure you have records of those customers coming through your websites. If there are customers coming through referrals and word of mouth, find out how many of them, what percentage of your customers come from the different marketing strategies that you have implemented. So that then tells you have to do different things, and then you see what results they are yielding. If you can advertise in the newspaper, advertise online, go Facebook and social media, go pay-per-clicks, do website marketing, do word of mouth, and then see which of them bears fruit. The moment you begin to see where your customers are coming more from, you dedicate more budgets and more funds and more capital and more time to doing that, so that your clients and your customers can keep coming from there, and then you stop wasting money on what doesn't work. So at first, it might take you to do a lot of things, but then narrow it down to the things that work for you as far as marketing is concerned. The other hat you need to wear is the hat of accounting. Okay, you need to be able to count if you want to be self-employed. Your accounting is your financial mirror. It tells you what your business looks like financially. If you want to see what your business looks like financially, look at your accounts. And your accounts will tell you stories about, accounts tell stories. Numbers tell stories. Don't just look at the numbers, look at the stories that they tell. Your profit and loss account, your balance sheet. It tells you how you are standing asset-wise. It tells you how you are standing profit and loss-wise. Okay? Your plan should indicate your accounting period. Are you going to be accounting within the tax year? Are you going to be accounting within the year you started your business? Your business might start in February and the tax year is April to April. So if your tax year is April to April, would that be your accounting period? If not, you have to decide what your accounting period is going to look like. Secondly, who's going to be doing your accounts? Are you going to be doing it yourself, or are you going to be hiring an accountant? You've got to decide that as well. And if you are running a business that is VAT registered, your accounting period has to be more regular and more periodic, because you do your VAT returns every 3 months. If you need management accounts, you need an accountant, a management accountant who can be producing management accounts for you every 3 months or every period or every month. So management accounts are done periodically, say weekly or bi-weekly, or every month or every 3 months, depending on what period you want to capture, because the management account is like a snapshot of your business activity and your financial standing at every point in time. So if you want to know what your financial standing is every month, you've got to be doing a monthly management account. If you want to know what it is like every 2 weeks, you have to be doing a bi-weekly management account. Okay, so that accounting frequency is dependent on the nature of your business and how frequently you need to be doing your accounts. Now, the fifth and the final hat you've got to be putting on in your plan is the sales hat. Now, sales is the lifeblood of every business. Okay, without sales, you have no business. That is pure and simple. If you do not make sales in your business is non-existent. So no matter how much fanciful your office or your shop front is, without sales coming in, nothing. All right, so it's a very important hat for you to wear. And in this case, again, your sales target is set by you yourself and not anybody. You don't have any boss setting sales target for you. You don't have any manager setting sales target for you. The hat is on you. You are wearing it. And in fact, if you have employees, you will be the one setting the sales target for them. So in your plans, you have built your sales projection, and then you must have built your strategy to achieving those sales projections. So you have to design a sales plan, and most importantly, a system to track those sales and track where those sales are coming from, because you need to know at every point in time whether you're making enough sales that will sustain the business or not, and then know whether you need to change strategy for your sales or not. Identify where your sales come from. Are they coming from referrals or direct sales or existing clients, or from your online activities or from your social media? Identify where those sales are coming from, and then focus on those channels that generate those sales and pumping more resources into those channels, because that is where your lifeblood is coming from. Okay, now your sales are also strongly linked to your marketing strategy and your brand building. In this day and age, let me tell you the truth, especially if you're in the services business, people buy from people. Okay, you've got to focus on building your business brand and building your personal brand. All right, no matter how beautiful your logo is, no matter how fantastic your location is, if you render rubbish customer service, or personally you are the rude and arrogant type that doesn't really care about your customers or your clients, and you have no empathy, and you do not carry yourself as you should carry yourself, and you do not come across as being charismatic and charming, and people will really buy into you. Who are you? What have you got to offer? People buy from people. Build your business brand as well as your personal brand. Your personal brand is as important as your business brand, because you are the face of your business. You are self-employed. It is your business, and do not leave everything just to the people you've employed. If you've employed people to work for you, you have to closely monitor what they are doing and make sure that your customers and your clients are not losing touch of you. If you've got a personal touch, make them feel that personal touch. Everybody who works within that business must have the same mentality and the same personality as you want them to be. Attract people who have the same vision and the same mentality as you have in your business, and impart in them the attitude and the culture you want them to exhibit in that business. If they do not, fire them, because they are the face of that business. It's as simple as that. It is a business you've worked so hard to build, and people are coming to you to buy from that business because of you. So you've got to be sure and be absolutely certain that anybody who is performing your role in your absence is performing it the way you would have done it if you were there. And it's all about the culture you have built into that business. Build a sustainable culture, and a culture that is endearing and enticing, and a culture that reflects who you are, because your business is who you are. Every business culture reflects the foundation of that business and the people who are behind that business. If you build a business based on deceit and wrong customer service and poor customer service, people will know that that is what you're known for. I have heard people talk about business owners, and they say, oh, that one is a con man. I will never have anything to do with him because he's never straightforward. If you're a dishonest person, no matter how beautiful and how solid your business is built, people will refuse to do business with you because you are dishonest. So your personal brand is as important as your business brand. So folks, that's where we're going to fold it up today, and I hope this has been useful to you. And please keep safe and stay safe in this coronavirus season. I need you all to be listening to me, so I need you all to stay alive. All right? So next week, we're going to be talking more on the different hats that self-employed people wear. And we're going to be talking about the customer service and administration and finances, HR management and compliances and legals, and as the different hats that self-employed businesses wear. So until then, God bless you all. Take care and have a lovely week. Bye.